Right, time to start talking to the people in this town we've been patrolling. Indeed it is! It's just such a shame that I seem to have a hard time connecting to the other trainers we run into. I know Slowpoke is supposedly slow to register even basic things like Bane, so maybe being slow to register orders is something their evolved form struggles with. Of course, it could just be another thing about traded Pokemon staying disloyal when you don't have the right badges bullshit that I've never actually seen since I've only ever traded with myself, but I feel like I've said this a few times, but why the hell are we still getting advice for how to order our Pokemon when it's that basic of information and we're this far into the game? Granted, I possibly talked to that person before we did the grinding and forgot about it, but still, by the time you get to the town with the second gym, you should not be getting that kind of tutorial message. Indeed, it's so expensive that there is legitimately no way to get enough money to buy it in this game. Seriously, I get that for some reason we're temporarily unable to get one until the bare-bones story says we're allowed to use one, but still, why make the absolutely only model that the player ever considers buying more than what our wallet will ever hold, even if we try to grind that much cash in the post-game? Granted, if you're at the level where you can use the Elite Four for easy cash, you either already gained the bike through the other means, or you've just plain don't need it at all, but still, just kinda weird. Wait, why buy a bike if you don't intend to actually ride it? Especially one expensive enough that you could have installed an engine for cheaper. Not that I actually know what the exchange rate for money in this world would be compared to the real world economy, but still, this feels a bit ridiculous. Does that include making some deals with Team Rocket? Because the way you said that makes it a bit ambiguous if he's gonna end up as a villain at some point. And based on what I remember from his short appearance in the anime, he wasn't in any way a villain there. Wow. I am just way too used to thinking of characters in only two categories, either explicit enemy or explicit ally. Much like the gym leaders, he's just someone we run into in order to do one thing, then we can forget about him for the rest of the game. It's kind of amazing how many named characters there are in this game, considering how few of them seem to have any role in anything that could be considered a plot. The only ones who matter in any kind of long-term way are Professor Oak, our rival, Gary, who we see more often than anyone else, and Giovanni. Indeed, and we'll be getting our second one from here eventually, but it's not like I'm in any particular hurry to get them all right now. I'm just doing what I can to explore right now. For some reason, I was expecting every gym to give us a bit of a stat boost, especially since the first one set that precedent. Not that we ever get any specific information for how much our speed or strength are affected by holding this little trinket that doesn't actually enter our inventory. We're just told something increased a little bit, and I know so little about the stats that I take their word for it. You know, the Rainbow Badge in Strength makes about as much sense as the Boulder Badge in Flash. And now I'm wondering why the Soul Badge doesn't increase our special. Of course, I'm also curious why they refer to the Psychic Gems badge as the Marsh one, and the Poison Gems badge as the Soul one, when it would make more sense to switch those two up. I mean, in Japanese, the badges are just called the pink and gold ones, while in English, they have the fancier sounding ones that don't really match up that well. Right, of course the only reward for the final badge is you have no limits on what Pokemon will listen to you now, even though you don't need anything around level 70 to beat said badge anyway. Okay, not even sure why I thought I could enter the other building from behind here. Still, no harm in trying, just makes me wonder why we're allowed back here if it doesn't lead to anything. Right, nothing in the trash bin either. I'm pretty sure that by the time people can essentially enter game worlds like in the movie The Matrix, a lot of these loot everything tropes are gonna be gone by then anyway. Well, of course you have trouble if the entire region has less than a handful of cops all over the place. Right! Should have remembered that the bridge had a one-way path right next to it for some strange reason. Well, hello there! Sorry for making you wait so long, Gary. I had to stop and call your grandfather because I managed to forget your name for a bit there. I tried asking your grandfather what your name was again, but really all I got was Dick. But then, I've known a few Richards in my life, and you don't seem like any of them, so that couldn't be right. But I suppose that's more than enough stalling for now, so let's finally go through with this rival battle. Well, you can't say I over-leveled since we're even with Gary's Mons right now. Right, as if Rock Throw wasn't already inaccurate enough. Wonder why I remember that rock move is inaccurate off the top of my head, but not precisely how inaccurate, or if Rock Slide, the thing I want to upgrade it to, is a learned move, or if we need a TM for it. Right, that's 3 for Marbleback so far. Since we've lost some accuracy, there's probably a good idea to give him at least a little bit of a rest here. Definitely not a terrible Pokemon by any means, but I don't believe Abra has any offensive moves just yet. It's kind of similar to Magikarp in a way, and I am both looking forward to getting an Abra soon, and dreading the sheer amount of grinding we're gonna have to go through to get one up to par. Especially since we already have an experience sponge here in the Magikarp we have. Considering how slowly I'm doing things, maybe it really would have been a better idea to have a Squirtle instead of a Bulbasaur at the start. I'm certainly slow enough that a turtle would be rather appropriate. Looks like Marbleback is certainly going to be teasing being an ace after this battle. He's at 3 at this point, with one more potential win for him here. Yeah. Rock throw really isn't the best kind of move to pin all your hopes on. I've seen better accuracy from muskets. Anyway, that does it for Gary. Was I supposed to fight him with lower level Pokemon than what we came to him with? Not that I feel guilty about sweeping him like that, just that maybe him taking down at least a few of our Pokemon in that fight would have done him some narrative good, since in this game, his only role is strictly a rival that we occasionally fight. Sure, it's more satisfying to take him down this easily than some of the other rivals we'll see in the generations to go, but come on. This story really doesn't give him any attention until the absolute end. He has no development that we can see. He just shows up a bunch of times to give us challenges at random points for the sake of reminding us he still exists. Hell, he's got so little in terms of story that actually involves him at all that there's a theory about something tragic happening in the middle of the game just to give a bit more meat to his character. I've never really considered it true, but still rather interesting. And I'll talk about it in more detail when we see him in Lavender Town. But that's quite a ways away off from Cerulean, and we still have plenty to do here before we move on. If only that prize actually would feel fabulous to our hero. Do I even need to say anything? Hell, do I even need to switch Takanabori out for this? Nope. Good God, the poor kid is gonna feel so humiliated, considering we're beating him here, and how. Still, hard to feel too bad for him when he's using a level 14 Caterpie. Again, what is with the bug trainers not letting their Pokemon get to their final forms? It's not like a Butterfree or Beedrill stops being a bug or something. Welcome to the scoreboard, Takanabori. A little earlier than I was expecting you up there, really. Might be pushing our luck to keep him in there against a second worm, but I figure there's no harm trying there. Look, there's no need to keep trying to slow us down. We're already slower than you are anyway. That puts Takanabori in at a 2 on the board right now, with 79 overall victories against trainers for our whole team. Well, at least he's not a sore loser despite being soloed by a bloody Magikarp. Anyway, back to the Pokemon Center before we get to the next trainer. While I somehow doubt that Takanabori is going to get any more wins in this clip, I'm not going to prevent him from trying if at all possible. Right, next in line. I'm afraid none of you on this bridge is likely to be as serious as Gary, but I certainly wouldn't mind being proven wrong. Yeah, somehow doubt our little fish is going to be able to win this one. doesn't matter if you're faster when you can't do all that much to your target. And with that, Marbleback has made it to ace status. Granted, we've got 6 aces on the board so far, and we're gonna have more before we're done with the first generation. Still, nice accomplishment for him. Granted, not all the trainer Pokemon we've taken down so far have been challenging to bring down, but then it's not like all the planes that actual ace pilots shoot down are always piloted by people who've got a very firm grasp of what the hell they're doing. And great. Now that we're actually fighting our way through the bridge, I feel like I need to stretch a bit to find things to talk about. In combat, yeah, there's just not all that much actually going on. At least not in the regular battles. Is it just plain not as interesting as it probably should be for me? We're approaching the 8-hour mark, after all, in terms of how much footage I've commented on in this generation. Okay, apparently everyone on the bridge is gonna say the exact same thing after we beat them. Again, it's generally more interesting to talk to the people in the towns that we're not supposed to battle, since they generally have a bit more thought put into their dialogue, even if for the most part it's unchanging. So many choices for who to take on this Rattata, and none really feel all that more attractive to use than the others, since with the exception of Takanabori, all our team can just beat down this poor rat with ease. Okay, more damaging than I was expecting to take from a single hit, but that's still another easy addition to Mig's score. Considering the way I'm keeping track is just typing numbers into a notepad document, there's probably plenty of risk that I've got my count for overall Pokemon and how many Pokemon each member of the team has taken down wrong, but what can you really do? Wait, that was supposed to be a critical hit? I was somehow expecting Rap to do more, but I suppose it never is just one hit for one little bit of damage. Well, Taki, you gave it a solid try, but it doesn't look like you're taking this snake down. Okay, this is actually getting pretty damn close. I could take the risk of another tackle, but I'd say when you're at just 1 HP, you are pushing things a little too close. Kind of wish we could credit Takanabori with that win, but it's going entirely to Phyllis, since it's not like something like a Poison Powder or Leech Seed finished the job. And we finish that trainer with a one-hit takedown. Well, look on the bright side. You sent us back to the Pokemon Center. Part of me wants to fast forward a bit so we can skip over the Pokemon Center healing, but it'd probably be more annoying than it's worth considering how little time we spent traveling to and from the center from the bridge. considering how many times we've come to this specific center so far, I can't help feeling a bit embarrassed we don't know the nurse's name. I know I've said that for a few different Pokemon centers so far, and I'll probably say it some more as we keep moving forward. Well, it's easy to avoid getting tired when you don't actually have to go through the gauntlet in one big push. Now, part of me wants to feel guilty that I'm not giving these kids a genuine chance to wear me down from point A to point B. The other remembers that the Elite Four at the end of the game is a forced gauntlet. This one isn't. And there's no reason, as far as I can tell, to give these kids just guarding a frickin' bridge the same level of respect as the Elite Four and the champion of the region. Huh. Wonder why the Nidoran female seems more popular than the male. Yeah, growl all you want, you didn't manage to hurt us at all. Better luck against the next person who tries to cross the bridge. Why am I still bothering to check what these guys say after we beat them if I know they're just gonna repeat what the other bridge crew said? I mean, it's nice to know that all 5 are not sore losers, or if they are, then they keep it to themselves. That's better than some trainers and even some gym leaders I can remember. Though none of those gym leaders are from Kanto, so there's no point in talking about them just yet. The gym leaders in Kanto, at least in the games, all seem rather professional for the most part, though, much like Gary, they oddly enough don't have any story beats that touch on them specifically outside of Giovanni, and that's only because Giovanni is in charge of Team Rocket. Seriously, it's funny that the gym leaders I remember the best in the franchise are the ones that have given the most minimal role possible. Well, we haven't been running into too many fighting types just yet. Not that there are too many fighting type Pokemon as a whole in the first generation. Sure, there's more than what the Ghost type got in the first gen, but still, kinda need some more population there. Okay, did more damage to Mig than I was expecting for a first strike, but at least he didn't last long enough for a second hit. Anyway, that does it for all 5 trainers on the bridge. Another bit of healing, then we see what wonderful prize is waiting for us on the other side. Considering I did not give a damn about the fossils in Mount Moon, and it's not like this game gives us equipment to give to ourselves or our Pokemon, I failed to see what could be so amazing on the other side. Little tempted to save and take a break now, but we may as well do a little more before calling this session to a close. I'm sure Gary did as well. A nugget. As in a bit of gold, where the only thing we can personally do with it is sell it. Probably says something that this is the kind of world where being given a lump of gold is somehow underwhelming. And no, I'm not going to comment on the fact that Team Rocket is apparently trying to openly recruit people this way. Partly because the people we fought on the bridge probably have nothing to do at all with this. Partly because, dear God, the police in Kanto must have the absolute worst reputation ever. And it's not like the player is even given the illusion of choosing to join them here. I mean, seriously. It's a good thing that Team Rocket never was going to have a menacing reputation at all. Because this would have killed whatever reputation those poor bastards might have tried building. It just feels so monumentally dumb. And again, Team Rocket has a much better reputation overall despite this kind of crap, compared to a number of the criminal teams we'll run into from the 3rd generation onwards. Right, that's another mark for Takanobori's scorecard. Doubt we'll take that Zubat down with a Magikarp, but again, no harm in trying. Okay, Leech Life just made this a bit more unfeasible. Right, sorry Taki, but you're still not at a point where you can reliably go through opposing Pokemon. You're getting closer, just 2 more levels to go and then you'll be an outright monster, but you're not there yet. At least we didn't take as much damage as we would have if we'd actually taken a Hyper Fang attack. Ugh. And of course, once we land that hit, it's a finisher. Im's currently the leader on the board now with 19.5 on his entry, and Phyllis at a very, very close second at 18.5. You know, there's not much point in having leaders if you don't have too many coherent goals here. At this point, we've just seen an ugly done random money-making scheme, and we'll never see the end result of a poorly thought out recruitment drive here. I'm not even sure just how aware of these bits of action Giovanni is. Anyway, that should about do it for this clip.